Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be losing a whole lot of brain cells. And no, we're not going to be rewatching the presidential debate. We are going to be watching some clips from the Scrotum Defect Squad, or better known as the SDS podcast. They made a lovely video about the Mount Rushmore of Premier League greatness. If any of you don't know what that means, that basically means the 4 greatest players in Premier League history. And some of the takes that I heard in the video made my jaw drop. Without further ado, let's begin.
Anyways, 4 iconic presidents. So we're gonna, George Washington was never a president. Oh wow!
Well, they got a whole state named after him, and the capital city.
Was never a president.
That's so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
You can go to the most remote places on planet Earth. You can go to outer space. You can go to some deep places in the Amazon rainforest and find members of a cannibalistic tribe who don't speak English. They will all tell you George Washington was the first president of the United States. Come on, are you serious? Like I said, we're going to be losing a whole lot of brain cells, and wow, great start.
What's the last one?
And then the last one I've chosen, Kevin De Bruyne. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Scoff at Kevin De Bruyne. Let's just completely brush off one of the greatest players we've ever seen in the history of the league. Do we even have any legends? Do we? Kevin De Bruyne is in the conversation for not just the greatest midfielder ever, I think he already takes that, but the greatest player ever in Premier League history. Now, I haven't been watching the SDS podcast for a long time, but I definitely know that this character right here is a huge hater of both Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne, and there are so many reasons why. Real Madrid fans don't like Kevin De Bruyne at all. They really don't, because it's a threat to Luka Modric's legacy. That is the only reason. There is literally no other reason. Every time Luka Modric went up against Kevin De Bruyne was always on top. Gun to your head, can you name an assist or a goal that Luka Modric has had against Kevin De Bruyne, against Manchester City? You can't. Gun to your head with the same question, but with Kevin De Bruyne against Real Madrid, you would be able to tell me a couple of assists and definitely a couple of goals and some incredible man-of-the-match performances. Even looking at the ratings between Kevin De Bruyne and Luka Modric when they went up against each other in a head-to-head perspective, there's a clear winner. Scoffing at Kevin De Bruyne by Real Madrid fans, it's not by accident, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason they don't like him.
Everything you lot give Lampard credit for the goal scoring, he does it. The all-round game you lot give Gerrard credit for, he does it. The creative playmaking that you give Scholes credit for, he does it.
That's perfect.
Yep, 100%. I agree with everything Fuad just said. Everything that he just said, I completely and utterly agree. His left foot is undoubtedly better than Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard. They're supposed to be better goal scorers because that's what a video game tells you. That's what nostalgia tells you. That's what your favorite players tell you. That's what football ratings tell you. But in reality, Kevin De Bruyne has more goals and assists, a better ratio against the top 6 than those 3 can ever dream of. I think Kevin De Bruyne and Steven Gerrard are the 2 best midfielders in Premier League history. Those are the 2 players in contention for that number 1 spot if we take everything into consideration. I think it's 100% Kevin De Bruyne. If you said Steven Gerrard, I'm not going to say anything. But the fact that his name, De Bruyne's name, gets scoffed and brushed off, all right, and not even placed in the top 5, all right, by a lot of football fans or YouTubers who pretend to support their clubs is astonishing.
It's exhausting.
I can't put the likes of KDB, the likes of Aguero, the likes of these man, Vincent Kompany. I always think of Pep. I think City.
You say that about any Barcelona player.
Sorry.
Only Pep, yet the same people would scoff at the notion that Pep Guardiola is the greatest manager in the history of football, okay? Would they be saying the same thing about Sir Alex Ferguson? No, they wouldn't. They would be saying, oh, he had great players and he was a great manager. But with Pep, apparently we had no great players. You're telling me that this guy won 6 out of 7 or 8 possible Premier League titles, won 4 in a row, a domestic quadruple, 100 points, a treble, a quintuple season, okay, with 0 help, that Guardiola could have done it without De Bruyne, without Aguero? Is that what you're telling me? And I apparently don't know football because of my accent. That's just... I love it. Why don't you say the same thing about Barcelona when Pep was winning all those trophies with Barcelona, the Champions League titles that he won at Barcelona? Was it just Pep? Are we going to discount Andres Iniesta? Are we going to discount Messi? Are we going to discount Dani Alves, Piqué, Puyol, Xavi, Busquets, Pedro, David Villa? Are we going to discount those players? I didn't think so.
Two. I look at this dynasty and I look at Pep being the main reason for that. I can't put KDB.
Say something about Ferguson.
Ferguson
won the Premier Leagues with different United.
Yep, I literally just said this. Thank you, Sharky, thank you. You could say the same thing about Sir Alex Ferguson, but nobody's going to say it because everybody's got this anti-City agenda. Sir Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager ever, breaking record transfers year in, year out, highest wage bill in Europe, pressuring referees to give decisions in favor of him. This is true, ladies and gentlemen. Go online, you'll find some testimonials from past referees scared to give decisions against Sir Alex Ferguson. The Red Cartel has dominated this league, and not in a fair way, in a corrupt way. And United are the masterminds of that. Are you going to sit up here and tell me that Sir Alex Ferguson was the only reason why United won all those titles? They won 3 in a row, the double in 2008. Are you telling me that Cristiano Ronaldo, Carlos Tevez, Van Nistelrooy, Scholes, Keane, Dennis Irwin, all right, all those players were nothing? Everybody's so inconsistent in the football community. It gets tiring at this point.
I pray you give me strength and guidance.
There's a few names ahead of Steven Gerrard still, but it's nice.
No,
it's cute. It's cute that he's on your shortlist.
No,
it's cute, isn't it?
you cannot put a guy who hasn't won a Premier League title.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This is what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be losing a whole lot of brain cells. They're literally saying that Gerrard has a 0% chance of touching the top 4. He's not even in the discussion. Gerrard was playing with who? Aquilani? Jamie Carragher? Jamie Carragher wasn't that good. Martin Skrtel wasn't that good. Daniel Agger wasn't that good. If you ask most Liverpool fans, they'll tell you that he was practically alone for his entire career in the Premier League. He did have some great players around him, but overall, the team wasn't there. Make no question, I respect the hell out of Ryan Giggs, and he's in the Mount Rushmore of some of the people on the panel. Gerrard was a better football player. 100%. That's just my opinion. You want to disagree with it? Giggs was greater because he won all those titles. From an individual player perspective, Gerrard, his goal-scoring ability, his defensive prowess, he does things that none of these 3 players can do. That's tackle. Gerrard on the tackle and the ping. Gerrard's ping, one of the best pings I've ever seen in football history. Gerrard doesn't touch this because he didn't win a Premier League title. Yet they're the same guys who were talking about, oh, Harry Kane, he's so much better than Erling Haaland. Where are the trophies? Where are they? Those two would scoff at the notion of somebody saying Haaland was better than Kane because Kane was all around just a better football player. He was a one-man team carrying a team, but they don't want to say the same thing with Steven Gerrard. It's ridiculous.
I don't care for and what because of the. We might as well put Gunnigan in there. Put 2 against Aston Villa. Cough about that.
It's not because of 1 goal though.
Cough, man. No, I'm not putting Aguero in there.
Disgusting!
Estrogen-filled little midget here just hates Aguero, hates City to his core. It's so pathetic. If I was having a discussion with somebody supporting Real Madrid and they asked me to give my opinion on Raul, I would never say these words. I would never say F off to Raul or Ozil or Sami Khedira or Lassana Diarra. Alright, players that he probably doesn't even fucking know exist. Thankfully, a couple of people put Aguero in their Mount Rushmores in the video, and he definitely deserves. There has to be at least one City player in there. Come on. Jamie Carragher on Sky Sports said that Kevin De Bruyne was the best player in the Premier League over the last 6 or 7 years.
Best player in the Premier League for the last 4 or 5 years. That's where you'd put him. You'd put him up alongside.
I think Marcus Rashford in that 70 questions video with Gary Neville, he said, Gary Neville asked them point blank, best player in the last 6 years of the Premier League era, Marcus Rashford, Kevin De Bruyne.
Last season it was definitely Haaland, but I think over the last 4 or 5 years, De Bruyne 100%.
Look, I have no hate towards Mohamed Salah, but I'm just going to be real with you. If you're going to consider Salah one of the 4 greatest players in Premier League history, shouldn't you have done just a little bit more to win those titles when it was just a 2 or 3 point difference between you and City. Those 2 titles are where we were a point off or 2 points off. Shouldn't you have done just a little bit more to secure the titles if you are one of the greatest players in Premier League history? Can I not hold you to that ridiculously high standard? It is Mount Rushmore after all. All these people have Salah. He has Salah in there, but no Aguero, no Kevin De Bruyne. Wherever you put Salah in the all-time ranking list, if you did an all-time ranking list, wherever you put Salah, De Bruyne is a couple places higher than him. If you put Salah here, De Bruyne is there. If you put Salah there, De Bruyne is there. But if you're just going to say F off to Aguero and every single City player, every player that wears this jersey, then what is the point? I am biased in this discussion here because Aguero is my favorite football player of all time. Those of you who have, been subscribed to my channel for at least like 3 or 4 months, you probably already know that. One of the most technically gifted strikers that the Premier League has ever seen. The only player that could come close to Thierry Henry as a footballing talent in the striker position is Aguero. Nobody else gets into that discussion. Not Harry Kane, not Haaland, not Dwight York, not Alan Shearer, nobody else. Aguero. Bottom line is, I don't mind if you have Shearer in your Mount Rushmore and not Aguero, but the thing is, if you're just going to scoff off Aguero, then what's the point? Having a discussion with you is just pointless.
Team did they sign Eric Cantona from? Man United?
That's easy. If he doesn't know that, then
No, he doesn't know.
he knows that. Of course he knows that.
He doesn't know. What's that?
Of course he knows it.
No, okay, what's it?
No, he knows it. I guarantee
Okay,
he knows
he doesn't know it.
Come on, bro.
Don't what's it? Go on.
No, he knows it. He knows
No,
it.
no, why did you not say the answer?
You acted.
Absolute melon. Says F off to Aguero and says Cantona is so much better than him. Knows nothing about Eric Cantona. You know why he's saying that? I will give you the only reason why he's saying Cantona is better than Aguero. It's because of his icon card on a video game. That is the only reason why he's saying he's better than Aguero. That's probably the only reason why he knows who Cantona is. You can literally put me in a coma for the next 7 months. I'd wake up and instantly tell you the answer to that question. Manchester United signed Cantona from Leeds. He brought the title from Leeds to Manchester United. What do I know? I'm American. I don't know football. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did make it this far, I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. Close to 8,000 subscribers. Would love to have you help me get there. I am utterly terrified because Wolves are on a huge, long
Give your meat a good old rub.
losing streak, which means they're going to beat City. It is the most City thing ever, besides bananas. Alright, in stands. It is the most City thing that could possibly ever happen. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.